whole life they told you that good communication will be enough to save your relationship. No matter if intimacy dies, good communication. No matter if you argue, good communication. No matter if you fight, good communication. You thought that if you just thought about it longer, if you just had courage, if you just found the right wording, you would finally open up. If you had one perfect sentence and one perfect moment, intimacy would finally happen. But there's a betrayal inside that hope. Remember back to the beginning of the relationship where you were doing all that research, when you were learning them, mapping their reactions, cataloging what shuts them down. You learn what makes them defensive, what earns warmth, and what earns distance. You weren't just falling in love, you were building a prediction model. And once you understood it, you graduated. You got your degree in relationship management. Now every conversation starts before it starts. You don't hear what they say, you hear what it could turn into. You predict shifts in conversation before they happen. You go through 4 edits of yourself before we hear your voice once. You soften the verbs, delay timing, remove urgency, and delete the parts of yourself that sound needy. You apologize for arguments that don't even exist yet, calming storms that never form, negotiating outcomes before they even happen. You stopped encountering your partner. Now you just stand at the desk of your own life, tracking and forecasting storms in your own head. Ghost arguments with ghost apologies and ghost peacekeeping. You spend more time debating imaginary reactions than meeting the person sitting in front of you. And everybody calls you emotionally intelligent, but your body knows the truth. You're exhausted. Not even of the person. You're not even exhausted of the person. You're exhausted of the idea because you're having 20 conversations at once and 19 of them are imaginary. Now you're not even meeting who they are. You're meeting who they represent in therapy. You refer to them by attachment style, by their trauma response, as the pattern you already understand. You don't even argue with them anymore. You argue with your explanation of them. And intimacy suffocates right there because intimacy requires surprise. It requires risk. And nothing surprises someone who already believes they solved you. If you date, so I want to go to the other side just to show you what goes on. Because if you dated a relationship manager, you probably thought they were amazing. You probably loved it. You probably thought they were calm, patient, low drama. You probably thought that you finally found someone that was mature, but you didn't realize that they were buffering reality before it reached you. They absorbed every awkward silence before you noticed the tension. They forgave disappointments before you even know they existed. They swallowed hurt so cleanly that it never became conflict. You fell in love with peace, not even realizing they was paying rent on it with their identity. Not even catching it. So in relationship management, you don't even lose the relationship because you communicated badly. You lost them because you communicated perfectly. Perfect tone, perfect timing, and perfect restraint. By the time your partner heard you, they weren't even meeting your heart. They were meeting your press release, a translated version designed to survive the conversation instead of reveal you. And there's a part in this that every relationship manager would recognize. It feels like opening a door into a room that you always believe was pitch black. You expect emptiness, but instead you find a stacked floor to ceiling with unfinished thoughts. That's what you find. A stacked floor to ceiling with unfinished thoughts. Every not right now. Every it's not a big deal. Every disappointment folded neatly and stored right away. Waiting. You realize something horrifying right there. That you weren't protecting peace. You were protecting yourself from being seen wanting something. That's what you were doing. And this is exactly what I mean by self-erasure. Losing yourself slowly, one unfinished thought at a time. That's what I'm talking about. Because by the time you actually notice it, you're already translucent. You still show up. You still care. You say all the right things, but desire fades. Sex feels negotiated instead of wanted. Questions feel heavy because every answer requires emotional calculus. Honesty itself feels like paperwork at this point. You open your mouth to finally speak honestly, and nothing comes out. Nothing comes out. Not because you don't know what you feel, but because every version now sounds dangerous. One thought, too much. Another thought, too needy. Another thought, too late. You translated yourself for so long, you forgot the original language you and your partner were speaking. So when your partner says you've changed, the truth actually is that you didn't change. You actually ran out of space to keep disappearing. That's what happened. You ran out of space to keep disappearing. And it's a sad truth that the good communicator never notices, that it is possible to resent someone for labor they never knew you were doing. That is totally possible. They didn't ask for you to edit yourself. They didn't see the rehearsals. They didn't know you spent your whole childhood as an emotional diplomat, learning that peace was easier to find than safety in your own parents' house. You never told them because you predicted that they would hear it as an excuse instead of a beginning. That's what you did. Instead of standing where you could actually speak from, you kept translating. They fell in love with the peace you created, not realizing it was powered by your own exhaustion. Not even catching it. 2 people grieving different realities in the same room. One saying, why didn't you tell me? Right? That's what they're always going to ask you. I'm just trying to tell you right now. You're always going to think, I tried every version except the one I thought was dangerous. Right? And then when the relationship manager finally stops managing, right? When they stop managing, it never looks heroic. There's never a speech to it, and there's never really a slam door. There's just small sentences that start. I don't agree. That hurt. I need something too. Right, actually speaking. Because suddenly everything in that moment will feel unstable. Arguments will appear and fear will surface. Why are you starting problems? Why are you starting problems? But nothing broke. Reality just entered the room without supervision. And some relationships do end right there at honesty. Some relationships do end at honesty. Some people do fight like strangers, learning each other all over again when honesty comes in the room. But some rare couples, they'll finally actually start something. Because intimacy was never waiting for a perfect sentence. It was waiting for the version of you that finally stopped rehearsing long enough to actually get there. To actually get there with your partner. Because love was never supposed to cost you your existence. You were never meant to become someone's emotional climate control for love to start. That was not supposed to be a thing. The version of you that speaks before editing, the one you thought was dangerous, that was the one that intimacy was waiting on the whole time. The whole time. I'm just trying to get your head right. Because being a good communicator, it's effective. But people got to understand that, like, I always look at it like this. You can be the best. You can be the best at something. The absolute best at something. But if you get to the end and find out that your optimization target was off, you're going to be the best man at a job that nobody asked you for.